You keep hearing that remote jobs are impossible to land right now, that every posting gets flooded with hundreds of applicants. Well, that's true for some roles, but there's a separate category of online jobs sitting wide open. And it's not because they require some rare skill that nobody has. It's because the actual day-to-day work is repetitive enough that most people quit within weeks of starting. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics' own labor turnover data, the U.S. quit rate has been running in the 20 to 28% range annually in recent years. And entry-level roles turn over noticeably faster than management roles do. That's a massive number of seats that open back up over and over at companies that would honestly rather not keep rehiring for them. So today I'm going through 5 online jobs that are boring on purpose, and that's exactly why they stay in demand. No resume tricks required, no networking, and in most cases, no drawn-out interview process. Just repetitive work that keeps a company running with a paycheck attached to it. And quick context, I've spent close to 9 years digging through listings just like these for this channel. So I've seen which ones actually hold up. And quick disclaimer, every pay figure in this video is pulled from Glassdoor and other resources. And these are just averages. They are not guarantees, and they're going to change depending on your location, the company, and your experience. Simply watching this video does not guarantee you a job or an income. And you're probably not going to qualify for every single role on this list, and that's completely normal. So do your research and confirm current listings before you apply to anything. And if you want to stay on top of the latest remote jobs and side hustles, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you don't miss a single video. First up is Digital Metadata Clerk, which you'll also find posted as Data Entry Specialist or Cataloging Assistant. This role has you tagging and categorizing digital files, product photos, and documents so a company's internal database is actually searchable. You are typing descriptive tags, the color, the material, the category into a content management system. E-commerce catalogs and digital archives are growing faster than most internal teams can keep up with. And an untagged file is basically invisible inside a company's system. And that creates a constant backlog that needs a human working through it. And this one typically gets overlooked because the job title doesn't sound like much. And honestly, the work itself is about as repetitive as it gets, typing tags into the same fields for an entire shift. But that's precisely why turnover runs high and postings stay open. And I'll put up some of the recent salaries on the screen now. The skills you'll need are fast, accurate typing, being comfortable with spreadsheets or database software, and the discipline to stay consistent on formatting even when the task feels monotonous. I'll give this one a 6.5 out of 10. Entry is genuinely accessible, but the pay ceiling sits lower than some of the other ones on the list unless you move into a more specialized cataloging role. To get started, you could search data entry or metadata or cataloging directly on LinkedIn or Indeed, and make sure to filter for remote. And most postings will list whether training is provided or not. And I get it, sifting through job boards trying to figure out who's actually hiring for roles like this can turn into a full-time job itself. And that's why I put together a free list of the top 100 companies that hire for online jobs, so you're not stuck guessing which ones are actually bringing people on right now. And I'll drop a link below in the description and in the pinned comments so you can download the list. Now, the next job on this list keeps that same solo screen-only pace going, just swapping file tags for search results. Number 2 is a search quality rater, sometimes listed as a search engine evaluator or web search evaluator. This one has you rating how well a search result, an ad, or a map listing actually answers the query someone just typed in. You open a link, compare it against a set of guidelines, and then you give it a rating. And in most cases, this is independent contractor work done entirely on your own schedule. Search engines and AI systems need constant human feedback to stay accurate, and that demand has not slowed down. If anything, it's grown, since more companies are building their own search and AI products that need human quality checks behind the scenes. And the reason this stays open follows the same pattern as the last one. It's quiet, solitary, repetitive work, rating result after result with almost no variation in the task itself. A lot of people apply, pass the qualification exam, then step away within a few weeks once the novelty wears off. And I'll put up some of the recent salaries on the screen now so you can get an idea. Now, the skills needed here are strong reading comprehension, the ability to apply a detailed guideline document consistently, and enough patience to sit with the same task format for hours at a time. And I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10, mainly because it's generally part-time by design at a lot of these companies, so there's a real ceiling on hours. But it's a solid supplemental income if you've already got something else going on the side. To get started, search for Search Quality Rater or Search Engine Evaluator, also openings directly through We Localize or OneForma. Typically, you'll go through a qualification test before you're approved and can get started. And job number 3 keeps you working alone too, except now you are the one deciding what stays online and what doesn't. I'm talking about being a content risk reviewer. And depending on the company, you'll also see this listed as content moderator or trust and safety analyst. The job is plain enough to describe in a sentence. You review flagged text, photos, or video clips that have been reported on a platform, and you decide whether it violates the platform's policy. And you're working off a written rule book. So in most cases, you're clicking approve or remove based on the rule book, not making judgment calls from scratch. And the reason this role is always hiring comes down to volume. The internet doesn't stop uploading content ever. And every platform from social apps to marketplaces to online games need a human layer checking what the automated filters miss. And vendor companies like TELUS International and Appen are always staffing these roles because the flag queue never actually empties out. And here's the best part most people don't clock. The reason this role stays open isn't that it's hard to get hired, it's that the work itself is generally repetitive. You are looking at the same categories of content over and over all day. And a lot of people burn out on that within a few months. And that turnover is your opportunity. I'll go ahead and throw up some of the recent pay averages on the screen now so you can take a look. Now, the skills you'll need are steady attention to detail, comfort reading a lengthy policy document and applying it consistently and honestly, some emotional resilience because you will come across content that's not very pleasant. That's the trade-off of how open this door is here. Now, for an opportunity score, I'll give this one a 7.5 out of 10. The barrier to entry is low, but the day-to-day grind is real. And that's exactly why the openings keep coming back around. Now, to get started, you can search vendor companies like TELUS International, Appen, or Teleperformance directly for content moderator or trust and safety openings. Now, most do not require a degree, but some do run a background check first. And speaking of leveling up from entry-level repetitive online roles into something with more room to grow, I want to tell you guys about an online training program that I recommend to all my subscribers. It's called Course Careers, and they offer free intro courses in fields like IT help desk, tech sales, and data analytics. And this is a great way to see which one is the right fit for you. They also help with resume writing and interview prep, and they partner directly with companies, so they help you with job placement as well, which is a huge bonus. And no experience or degree required. I'll go ahead and drop the link below in the description and in the pinned comments so you can learn more. Now, the next one on the list puts you in front of actual customers without ever picking up the phone. Number 4 is online chat support representative. You're answering customer questions through a live chat window only, which means no phones. And most companies give you a library of pre-written responses for the most common issues, and you can adapt them to the specific customer situation. Online shopping runs 24 hours a day, and every company selling anything online needs a chat team covering that volume around the clock, which means shifts at every hour, including ones most people do not want. Now, the catch is that most of what comes through chat is the same handful of questions over and over. Where's my order? How do I reset my password? Can I get a refund? And that repetition burns people out fast, which keeps this role in a constant hiring cycle. And I'll put up some of the recent salary averages on the screen so you can take a look. Now, the skills you'll need are, of course, fast typing, clear written communication, and the ability to stay patient through a repetitive script without it showing in your tone. And I'll give this one a 6 out of 10. It's genuinely accessible for most people, but the pay tends to sit on the lower end unless you move into a technical or escalations role. Now, to look for these positions, search remote chat only on sites like Indeed or weworkremotely.com. Some companies also route these through staffing platforms like Arise. And if you haven't yet, make sure you check out Course Careers. They also have free courses in IT and cyber security, fields with the same kind of steady demand that we've been talking about in this video. I'll put that link below for you. The next one on the list pays the best out of everything we've covered, and it's sitting inside an industry that never actually slows down. Number 5 is insurance claims processor. You're moving standard insurance claims through a verification pipeline. The software flags any missing fields or information, and once everything checks out, you submit it forward. It's process-driven work inside a system that's already built for you. Auto and health insurance companies process an enormous volume of claims every single day, and that volume doesn't dip with the economy the way a lot of industries do, so the need for processors stays constant. And this is about as process heavy as remote work gets. You're staring at forms and data fields for your entire shift with very little variation. And that's exactly the kind of role people apply for, get trained on, and then leave within the first year. And I'll put up some of the salary averages on the screen now so you can take a look. The skills you'll need are careful attention to detail, comfortable with insurance terminology, which you can pick up through training, and the ability to stay accurate on repetitive form review for hours at a time. I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10, mainly because the pay tops out higher than most of the others on this list, and a high school diploma is generally enough to get your foot in the door at a lot of these companies. To get started, check career pages for major insurance providers like Travelers and similar companies who post these roles on a regular basis under titles like claims processor or claims support specialist. And jobs like these stay wide open because most people won't stick with the repetition. And that's exactly the gap you can walk right into instead of scrolling past it like everyone else. But being boring isn't the only reason a job stays open. Some companies are so short on workers right now that they're hiring some people the very same day. And I lay out 5 of those roles in my next video, which I'll put up here for you. So make sure you check that out. And thank you so much for watching, everybody. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.